Hey, 7th graders, we are reviewing today lessons 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we'll start with lesson 7. It was understanding equations. So we're going to start, and what we're doing here is trying to find out if negative n equals 2 is a solution to the equation. So how we do that, we're going to plug, sorry, I dropped my pen. We're going to plug in 2, so we rewrite 4 times 2 minus 3 equals negative 2 times 2 plus n. Now we're going to distribute that 2, so we have 8 minus 3 equals negative 4 plus 9. So we simplify, 8 minus 3 is 5. Negative 4 plus 9 is also 5. Those equal each other, so n equals 2. I don't want to say negative. N equals 2 is a solution, so it's going to be true. Okay? Now let's look at another one. Here we have 30. So we have 3 times 30 plus 8 equals 2 times 30 minus 6. So here first we need to add. So we have 3 times 38 equals 2 times 30 is 60 minus 6. 3 times 38. It's 114. 60 minus 6 is 54. These do not equal, so it's false. Y equals 30 is not a solution for this equation. Okay? Next we had lesson 8, which was lesson 8 and 9 were the same, so using if-then moves in solving equations, So we first talked about if A equals B. In addition, then A plus B equals B plus C. In subtraction, A minus B equals B minus C. In multiplication, A times B equals B times C. And then if you remember, division had that little extra. So A equals B and C does not equal 0. Then A divided by B equals B divided by C. So we're going to do one problem each from 8 and 9 because they were the same lesson. Okay, so let's get down to that so we can make sure we do it correctly. Just a second. Okay, so what this one is the sum of two consecutive even numbers is 54. Find the numbers. So we have x, which would be our first number. Then if it's even, we have to skip one, so x plus 2 is our second number, and they equal 54. So first we're going to combine our x's, so we have 2x plus 2 equals 54. We're going to subtract 2 if we do it on that side, then we do it on this side. So 2x equals 52. We're going to divide by 2. Again, if we do it on one side, we have to do it to the other. X equals 26. Okay, that was pretty simple, I think. So one other one, this one's a little more difficult. Let's find the wording for this one real quick so we can better understand it. Okay, so the sum of a number, 1/6 of that number, 2.5 of that number, and 7 equals 12.5. So we have the number, 1/6 of the number, 2.5 times the number, plus 7 equals 12.5. So we're first going to combine all of our n's. So first, let's find a common denominator. We'd have 6 over 6n plus 1/6 n plus, let's put this in an improper fraction, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 2. 2 times 3 gets you to 6. And 3 times 5 is 15. So 15/6 over n plus 7 equals 12.5. So now we'll combine those. So we have 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 15 is going to be 22. So we have 22 over 6n plus 7 equals 12.5. subtract 7. If we do it on one side, we have to do it on the other. So 12.5 minus 7 is 5.5. And actually, 22 over 6 simplifies to 11 over 3. So we're going to write it that way here. So 11 over 3n. So let's go ahead already and give them common denominators, because we do need that in order to simplify here. Or I guess we don't, because we're doing multiplication. But that's okay. So let's put this in an improper fraction. So we have 11 over 3. And equals 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 halves. So we're going to divide by 11 over 3, which is really multiplying times the reciprocal. So 11 times 3 over 2 times 11. So it's 33 over 22, which simplifies to 1 1/2 equals n. Okay, so that number is 1 1/2. All right, next we had lesson 10, which started, or lessons 10 and 11 were also the same. They had angle problems and solving equations. So we're going to review quickly. So we had 4 different types of relationships with the angles. The first was adjacent. So that meant that there was 2 angles with a common side, and the common side was in the interior of the 2, or the larger angle. Then we had vertical, which was when the sides formed 2 pairs of opposite rays. Angles on a line, we had 2 angles that add up to 180. Angles at a point, 3 or more rays that add up to 360. Okay, so we have 3 examples here. So first, what's the relationship? Well, we have 2 angles that looks like add up to 180. So angles on a line. So angles on a line, and then we need to find x. So if we know that they equal 180, we have x plus 132 equals 180. Subtract 132 from both sides. X equals 48 degrees. Okay, another one. Here we have vertical angles. 2 angles that form two opposite rays. So we have 2 opposites here, 2 opposites here. So we're looking to find x and y. X, y. We know that they're opposite angles. That means that x and y, or x and y both add up to 180, but also 144 and x do. So if 144 plus x gets you 180, y must also be 144 if y also gets you to 180. Okay, so if 144 plus x equals 180, subtract 144, and x equals 44. All right, 34. We have that 0, sorry. $34 degrees. Okay, we have one more. So this one we have multiple rays. So this is going to be angles at a point. We only need to find B. So they all add up to 360, sorry. So we have 41 plus 59 plus 90, that's, remember again what the square means, plus 65 plus B, all equal 360. So we're going to simplify that one by adding up all of our numbers that we know. Getting down to the problem so I do it correctly. So we're going to have 255 plus B equals 360. So we subtract 255 on both sides. We are going to get 105. So B equals 105 degrees. Okay, so that's a lot to review. It's okay. I wanted to give you a good example of all the problems. So your assignment is to complete the review for lessons 7 to 11. Okay, so, but remember, 7 was by itself, 8 and 9 were the same lesson, and 10 and 11 were the same lesson. So you pretty much only have 3 lessons to review and then complete the questions for. There will be questions from each of the lessons, maybe a little bit bigger assignment than normal, 2 more points. Let me know if you have any questions and have a great day.